Hey, you have tuned in to the Young Medic Show, a show that focuses on educating young people through deep discussions, focusing on varying health topics.
Do like 10 plus. Alright, cool. The same area, or maybe the same colour, or ethnicity as them before. Yeah, so why do you go into that?
Hey, you tuned in to the Young Medic Show, a show that educates young people on their health and well-being through deep dive discussions on varying health topics. My name is Josh. I'm a second year medical biochemistry student, and I will be the moderator in this conversation between two medics, such who are.
Hi guys, my name is Divas. I am a medical student at the University of Southampton.
Hello, my name is Khalil. I'm a medical student at University of Leeds.
Okay, today we're covering mental health. It's a big one. It's prevalent in the student population. There are many more cases of mental health in the student population than any other populations. We're going to cover on definition of mental health, its causes, types of disorders stemming from mental health issues. We're going to go into more primarily anxiety, and as well as touching on depression, bipolar disorder, and imposter syndrome. There are many more out there. We're not covering them all, otherwise this will take a long time, but these are the few that we know that are prevalent within the student population and is definitely something we need to talk about. We'll also look at different university personal experiences, so because we know university students are like big sufferers of it, some personal experiences, couple treatments and support, which will be linked down in the comment below. So let's get started. Where else can we begin from apart from a definition?
Yeah, alright. So first, the definition. So definition of mental health. So according to World Health Organization, mental health is a state of well-being in which the individual realizes his or her own abilities, can cope with the national stress of life, so they can work productively and fruitfully, and is able to make a contribution to his or her community.
Yeah, and the definition for anxiety is, it's an emotion characterized by feelings of tension, worry, thoughts, and physical changes like increased blood pressure. People with anxiety disorder usually have like recurrent intrusive thoughts or concerns, and they may like avoid certain situations out of worry.
Okay. So obviously anxiety is such a big thing already. And I know there's lots of different kinds of anxiety out there. Obviously there's social anxiety, there's anxiety of failure, there's anxiety with a lot of things we do in life. Some would say it's like a gateway mental disorder. So obviously apart from anxiety, it could go into depression. We know depression is such a big thing, and people are like, oh, they're just sad, but we know that it's way more complex than that. Otherwise, people would snap out of it. That's not the case. Depression is something more serious. So would you like to explain depression to me?
I'll just quickly read out the definition of depression. So depression is a mood disorder that causes a persistent feeling of sadness and loss of interest. It affects how you feel, think, and behave, and can lead to like a variety of like emotional and physical problems.
Okay. Just bear in mind, guys, as well, like all these things that people, our medics here are telling us about how these mental disorders occur and show in ourselves. You can also see that as how it will show in your friends as well. So like the withdrawal from activities and all that she said, like it doesn't just apply to you. You're like, oh, maybe I'm becoming. No, you could also look at your friends as well, because obviously what are friends meant for apart from that? You're supposed to help your friends not fall into those kind of situations, or even if they are, help support them in a way that they can come out of it. So those are the signs you can look for. There's also a new one that I've not heard, imposter syndrome. That's a weird name, but it kind of explains itself. But definitely, let me know.
Yeah, the definition of imposter syndrome, so that refers to an internal experience, so like of believing that you are not as competent as others perceive you to be, so you're not as good as others perceive you to be, basically, and you're feeling like you don't belong in a certain place. That's kind of like the definition.
So imposter syndrome, I know that's a new one for me. Not really heard about it, didn't really know it existed. It's got kind of a funny name.
Yeah, it has.
So, would you let me know about that? Yeah.
I mean, first of all, I can start with like the definition of imposter syndrome. So that kind of like refers to an internal experience of believing that you are not as competent or not as good as what others perceive you to be. So that can be feeling like you don't belong in a certain place. So like to put that into an example, so that could be, for example, I'm just gonna use my step. So being in medical school, for example. So you've just been accepted into medical school, you're in medical school, you come into like an environment where, or even just a working environment in general, where you come in, it's been really competitive, it's taking quite a while, like you got there, you're finally there, but it seems like everyone else just seems to be doing a lot better than you, and like you're not quite reaching that kind of standard, so you start to feel like do I really belong here, do I really deserve to be here? That's kind of like, that explains what imposter syndrome kind of is, feeling like you're out of place in where you are, basically, feeling like you don't fit.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm sure a lot of us have actually definitely felt that type of way in our lives before. Like, there's no way you have it unless you're that comfortable in your skin, Obviously, there is many more mental disorders out there, and I know we couldn't cover them all in this video. So if you would like any more information and to do your own research, just to understand a bit more about the many different disorders, there's links in the description box below. I'm sure you find them helpful and do your own research. So we're all students here. I'm sure we all have our little spats with mental health. We know how mental health in general can affect our performance in education, from GCSE, A-level to the degree level. It can affect so many aspects of our lives, and our students, I feel like there's a reason why it's so prevalent within our student population. So I'm just gonna pass it over to you so you can talk to us through how mental health impacts us so much as students.
Yeah. From that, so first of all, we need to look at the main group of mental disorders. So these can be like mood disorders, like depression, bipolar disorder, anxiety disorders, personality disorders, psychotic disorders, eating disorders, as well as trauma-related disorders as well. So moving on to the facts and how it affects us as students. So studies have estimated that up to 82% of UK university students suffer from stress and anxiety. The National Union of Students report that the top three sources of stress among students are coursework deadlines, exams, balancing study with other commitments as well. So this is a huge issue, you can clearly see. So the Insight Network research as well, with over 37,500 students from over 140 UK universities partaking in it. So these are the biggest of its kind in mental health. They've also found that 1 in 5 students have a current mental health diagnosis, and depression and anxiety being at the top, so those are the 2 top ones for us as students. 1 in 3 have also experienced a serious psychological issue for which they felt they needed professional help as well. About half of the students report thoughts about self-harm, which is a lot, and 8% of students often or always feel anxious or worried as well. So looking at all of those statistics, you can clearly see that mental health issue within us as students is prevalent, it's huge, and it's something we actually need to talk about.
Yeah, and especially obviously the coronavirus as well. I think that's really just amplified mental health issues. To add on to what he was saying, I think Young Minds, a health charity in the UK, said that from April 18th, 2020, that there was actually between the ages up to the ages of 25 years, 83% of young people reported that they had mental health issues, and that 26% said that they were unable to access support to aid with their mental health. So this is a massive issue, and obviously we're in a pandemic, and I feel like right now is a very good time to talk about how it affects us.
Yeah. Within this pandemic, everybody's really focused on physical health.
Yeah.
I feel like the lack of support and the kind of decreased mindfulness and awareness of mental health is due to that fact. But obviously now things are getting a little bit better, at least I like to think so. And it's now that we need to bring back awareness for that, because people, it's been how many months now? People have been in quarantine. People have been living alone. So just imagine the kind of toll that will take on your mental health, and think about you've done all that now, 5 months, your mental health might have gotten worse, might have gotten a little bit better, but then you're just going to be thrown right back into uni again, thrown right back into college, thrown back into high school. You're going to be going to all these things after a 5-month break, where that break might not have been that great for you, you know. So just guys, remember, like, those stats don't lie, you know. Studies done, they don't lie, stats don't lie. So don't feel like you're alone in the mental issues you're going through. Depression, anxiety, they ain't no joke, man. Like, it can seriously hinder what you do. You're not. It's a mental health issue, you know. Like, it's gonna affect your day-to-day life no matter what. So don't feel like you're alone. There's always support out there for you, and someone you can always talk to, you can try and relate to. You've got friends, you've got teachers, you've got parents, you've got different kinds of support that we will show you that you can use. But for now, we're gonna like give personal experiences. I feel like it'll be a great way for people to just look at what other people have gone through, so they don't feel so lonely. So you guys can go.
You can start.
Yeah. So looking at personal experiences. So for me, first of all, I wanted to like start without feeling imposter syndrome. You know, the one I gave before, feeling like you don't belong in a certain place. So like that's something I felt personally, and I experienced that coming to university. It's a big step. You just kind of you're thrown into like this huge world. You just come to like this massive campus with so many students, and you just put in like, I mean, glad I was happy, you know, I got to leave home, you know, excited, like, yes, you know, this is it, I'm living my own life, you know,
exactly.
you know, just looking forward to it. But getting put into that kind of place of just lecture kind of study and not understanding how like everything works, like how to take notes, how to like, you know, learn the content better, and like how to just get an understanding of what was going on. That kind of put me in a place where I wasn't keeping up with the work at uni. I wasn't keeping up with the work. Like some of the earlier tests and I wasn't really doing quite well in it, and I just kind of, I started to feel like, whoa, this was a huge step for me. I started to feel a little bit out of place. Like I wasn't able to keep my revision, everything. I was just feeling like, and I was like, for me in my mind, I just thought everyone else kind of had it all figured out. I thought everyone else was just doing well, like they knew what they were doing, they were just on it. Like I've come to, like, I mean, in my college, lots of divers, I've come to a uni place where it just felt like everyone is just on it, like, because it takes hard work to get into uni itself. It's difficult, it's not easy. I just thought everyone had it all figured out. Everyone knew what they were doing, they were on it, and like, should I really be here? Kind of way. Like that's that kind of feeling. Like
A-level results lie.
Exactly. That was what I mean. I was like, should I really be here? Like, do I belong here? Like, am I actually, you know, as good as, can I actually do this? Can I actually like, considering I'm studying medicine, like it's a 5-year degree, can I actually sit here and like, you know, do well and actually like go through these entire 5 years and be able to like keep up with everything, keep up with the program? Those kind of doubts, they start. But me anyway, they started coming into my mind, and I started like considering everything. And it wasn't until, because we have these kind of sessions in uni where it's kind of like tutor sessions, personal tutor sessions, where you can like all come together in groups and like talk to each other about things. And then it was in that session, we went to like one of the early sessions, and then even like with my friends at uni as well, and like in those sessions, kind of like everyone else was kind of talking about issues they were having, and everyone was kind of having the same issues as me. So like they were all saying, oh, you know, we're struggling with like keeping up a revision and like getting everything together, like balancing uni work and other commitment, like going to the gym or doing sports or other committees, like cooking for yourself for the first time now that you left home and stuff like that. And they were all experiencing the same things as me. And I was starting to think like, whoa, like it's not just me, like this is like like that. It brought a sense of ease to me, if that made sense. So I was thinking, I'm not the only one going through this. Like everyone else is in the same position I am. Like they're struggling to meet their deadlines as well. Like they're struggling to kind of like being thrown into a new environment in first year where like it's just completely different from college. They were also having like those kind of similar issues to me. So that kind of like made me, it put me at ease in somewhat. So that's kind of like a way I was able to deal with it, to understand that, you're not alone. Like other people, it might not look like it initially. You might think, nah, I'm the only one going through this. I'm the only one struggling. Like everyone else seems to have it all figured out, but that's not the case. A good amount of people, I'm confident, some people will also be in your position, kind of like trying to handle the same situations as you. It's just come to like talking about it, and that's kind of what helped me in that kind of situation, just talking about it. And at the same point, another thing that was kind of used to deal with is the fact that when you go back to my A-levels, I was thinking, I mean, I've done it. I mean, I know how to learn, I know how to study, I know how to set an exam, I know how to do it. I've done it in GCSEs, I've done it in A-levels, I've done it to get into uni. I'm here now, I've done it before, I can do this. If I just kind of like calm down, sit down, think about it, and like, you know, kind of plan what I'm gonna do, I can do this. I've done it before, so why can't I do it again? And just, I mean, it's one step further, but that's the point. I need to just keep improving, keep upping my game. You just need to believe that you can do it, because you've done it before and all these different kind of things, like in different exam that you've been testing on before. This is just another test that you're just trying to get past, like the whole uni environment, just another thing to kind of push yourself to get better, if that makes sense. And that was the way that I kind of used to deal with it. And I feel like when you go to uni, it can be quite lonely, like leading into like the whole kind of that's what kind of leads to people feeling kind of depressing. Like, although university is a big place, it's a big place with lots of people where you can still feel alone. That's the thing that I found.
Yeah. And you feel even more alone because you're surrounded so many people.
Yeah. And I think it's mainly like the change in environment. Like you're completely thrown into like a new place, a new city. You have no idea like how to get from A to B. Like sometimes like
mom and dad there, so being completely alone.
And sometimes you're literally like the only person from like say your school or area going into that city. That certainly was the case for me. Like because obviously I go to Southampton and I'm from Manchester, and literally, you know, whereas people, you know, all my other friends, like they were going to Birmingham or Leicester or London, where they had, you know, they had some, like they had that, even though they might not be going to the same like uni, they were in the same city, they kind of had that support. Whereas me, you know, going so far away from home, and I didn't really have a kind of choice, because it was like my only offer, and you know, from there it's like I'm accepted it. Do you get what I mean? Like it was just getting in the first place.
Done, you know?
Do you get what I mean? So I think for me, I feel like mental health is very important to talk about, because obviously, like regarding me, I went to a new city, didn't know anyone. I'm from like a very big family, so you know I'm surrounded by my brothers, my mom, and obviously, you know, going there, you know, first week I liked my food and yes, you know, but after a while it's kind of like I miss my friends, I miss my mom, I miss my brothers. But then, you know, and I just felt like at one point I didn't kind of fit into that kind of student lifestyle, you know, that the freshers, because even back home in Manchester, like I didn't really go out like that much. And you know, when like, you know, you have pre-drinks and you have all these, you know, parties, and then you might feel like a bit of peer pressure, and it's kind of like, it did kind of take a bit of a toll on me, because it's like, am I actually meant for this student life? Like, do you get what I mean? Like, I'm here to get my degree, but I also want to have fun, but then I feel like I don't fit in. Do you get what I mean? So, but I feel like in terms of that, it's literally just kind of just immersing yourself in. Like, after talking to people, I realised that there's a lot of similar people like me in the same boat, and I feel like that's why it's such an important topic to talk about, because you'll soon realise that you're not alone. And yeah, I think that's just talking to people. And in terms of like imposter syndrome as well, like I definitely feel it. I feel like everyone here has felt it at one point. You kind of feel like, you know, I don't belong here, I don't fit in, but then you kind of just have to remind yourself like you worked so hard to get in that place, so you deserve to get that place. I know I deserve to be in that place.
If you didn't deserve it, you wouldn't be there.
Exactly. So yeah, I think it's really just surrounding yourself with like-minded people, staying in touch with your friends. You know, there's FaceTime, there's social media, visit your friends. It is a big issue, but like Khalil said, like there's actually so much support and just finding
ways to
people
do it.
to deal with.
But I feel like it all comes down to also dealing with everything, like the three like major sources that I said before: coursework, deadline, exams, balancing study with commitment. I feel like it's all comes down to planning and preparing for everything. Like for me, exam anxiety, everything that I thought that I was stressed. Like I didn't really understand what was that kind of thing. I think anxiety and that kind of feeling. I don't even know how to describe it. I had such thing during my exam that I didn't understand that feeling of when you go to sleep and you just wake up randomly, because that scare exam. I even in A-levels I never experienced that, but for uni exam I thought that. Like I would go to sleep and I would just wake up at random times. I'd be like, right. Like I didn't wake myself up. I'm not interested in anyway. I just got up because I'm thinking about that kind of exam. It only got slowly towards the time of exam where I started to put myself at ease because I planned and I prepared better, and I made sure I did adequate enough kind of work to, you know, prepare myself for that exam.
And taking care of yourself, like closer to exam season, for example, obviously like it's game on, but it's really important just to have that day where, okay, maybe exam season don't take a day, but maybe have that hour or two.
Don't take a day, man.
But maybe have like, say like an hour or 2 hours where, you know what, I'm gonna treat myself, Netflix, watch the show, go to the gym or go out to eat, do anything that just, you know, relaxes you.
Linking it to physical health,
and then,
you know, relaxing yourself.
Exactly, and then go back.
Interlinking videos now, is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, I feel like just finding ways to kind of deal with it when you got that kind of thing. But the main key thing is if you plan and schedule yourself and think, right, I've got this, this and this. Planning how you're going to do it, how you're going to meet that, and making sure you meet it within that certain time. That will kind of help you deal with the anxiety that will come.
So that's like a little prevention.
Yeah,
so if you plan and you do all these things and you take that little time for yourself, planning and taking that time for yourself, I feel like a key thing into like just making sure you're not overwhelmed. Because once you're overwhelmed, that can lead to stress, that can lead to anxiety, that can lead to so many different things. It's like a little domino effect. So it's like a little prevention is better than cure.
Very true.
I need to find, sorry to add on, you need to find something that works for you. Like for me, it was my support system of my family and friends. For you, it might be. It
could be anything like from joining societies, or you can meet other like-minded people like you, or so you just make you feel that you belong there, or making new friends that you can talk to about stuff. And it's just making sure that you, although like I said, you can easily feel alone at uni, just trying to be part of something and actively take part in different kind of things to keep yourself busy and, you know, clear out your mind or that kind of thing and feel alone, which can also obviously lead to depression, which is a major thing we talked about for uni students. Just trying not to feel like
and it's also important to realize like there's like being sad or being like in that state is not a bad thing. There's actually nothing wrong with you. Like everyone goes through it. It's like honestly, everyone, I don't know anyone who's literally not gone through it. It's okay, but it's just trying to find out how it only then becomes dangerous when you're in that state for like a long period of time. Do you know what I mean? So it's just, you know, like we said, finding what works for you, etc.
In terms of like support as well, I talked about like I'm sure every uni can have like a university counsellor that you can go to. If not someone you talk to, like I said, your family or friends, someone that you're close to, or kind of groups that you can talk to. Like you can even go to the GP and talk about issues like this when it comes to mental health, or something that's taken very seriously, or you can talk to friends and like family, like I previously said before.
Just don't stay quiet.
Don't stay quiet about it.
You'll never get help if you're, you know, keeping it to yourself, or you're remaining like, you know, not telling anyone. Supporting to share, you know, these type of things. That's the only way we're ever gonna really like solve it and make it less of a stigma.
I feel like that main takeaway. There's prevention and there's cure. I said it before. Prevention better than cure. Planning, taking that time. Cure possibly would be, you know, knowing that support is there. You having that support. Even if you don't necessarily have that support, you know that you're not alone. I think, like you said, that brought you when you spoke to those people, you saw that, oh, they were going through the same things as you. Everybody's in the same boat. You're not in the boat behind, everybody's gone. Everybody's in the same boat. You guys can work on things together. You know, you can make new friends, you know. It's just about having that support, so you can use that support to overcome this little bad patch you're going through. You know, there's gonna be times where you don't want to go lecture. There's gonna be times where you're just in bed on days on end where you don't know what you're doing. You're contemplating your life. You're there in the dark,
just
kind of thing.
You're thinking of plan B. You're thinking,
you know, you're thinking of future. You're thinking that you might fail. There's a lot of things that that affect our mental health issues, and then we start overthinking, depression, anxiety, even eating disorders, anything like mental health issues manifest themselves in different ways, and it's just important to know that as long as you've got that support, as long as you do the prevention techniques, and you know that you are not alone, I feel like you will definitely overcome it. And I know everybody's a strong person out there. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's not hard, because it is hard, but we know it's doable, so you can do it. So apart from all that we've said, there are things that you should go do for yourself, like go to your GP, and they will offer you different ways, to treat your mental health disorder, such as therapy and as well as other ways. Apart from that, there is apps that you can use, such as Mind Mapper and Headspace, really good apps that can help deal with your mental health issues, as well as charities that provide information in other ways, such as Young Minds Charity and 42nd Street Charity located in Manchester. Anything else will be located in the description box below for you to look at and for you to indulge yourself in and do your research. Thanks for watching. Comment down below, because we just starting out here. We want your feedback, things that you guys can give us, things you would like us to do in the future. We know the lighting's off, we blame the production team, but just let us know. We're growing, and we just want to create content that's great for you, great fun for us, and just great all around. We're people pleasers, innit? So just let us know. Apart from that, thanks for watching. Homage to our medic students. Apart from that, like, comment, subscribe. The subscribe button is there. Please subscribe. But the big thing is comment. Let us know feedback. And thanks for watching.
Thank you guys.
Bye.